Welcome back, thanks for tuning in. This is now part 5 of the mini workbench project, and it's also time for the final finishes. All the pieces are cut, all the dowels are made, all I need to do now is glue this together and of course do some sanding and then put on protective oil coating. And it was at this point, I came to my senses and realized, well, this would be a lot easier to sand when it is in pieces. So I took it apart, I did all the sanding, got everything looking, roughly nice. It's obviously not going to be fine finish on this because it is a workbench. All I want to do is remove any dirt and residual oils from, transit and everything else, and then I get a much easier and, nicer finish on the oil that I put on. So that's all been done now. I am going to glue this together. Of course, there's going to be a bit of glue squeeze out, and I will have to sand that down, but that's a lot simpler than having to sand all the roughness down as well. Now, you also might remember from the beginning of this, I said I wasn't going to do that. I was going to make it all friction fit, because you see these pieces are going together much more simply now. I had tested it out in the shop. I sat on it. I moved it on the various surfaces I'm going to be using this on, and I really like the height of it. I'm very happy with it. Obviously, that's not the same as going to a job site and using it, especially like in a cramped basement or whatever. But the other thing I thought about as I was working on this project is I may actually need the workbench as a workbench and have to sit on something else. So if this doesn't work out for that, I will just make a small little stool for myself and use that instead. I mean, it would be nice if I didn't have to carry too many things around to job sites because my vehicle is already getting quite full. But that's fine. And it's not that important. We'll see how it works out in the long run. I do have some videos coming up. I'm planning for other things I've made and how they have worked out and what they pros and cons of all of them. But anyway, so I'm going to clamp this up, which is just me putting a heavy object on it, and then we're going to get it set, and then the next thing to do, of course, is to glue the dowels that are going to go from the legs into the main table as well. So that comes out relatively easily, but you're going to see once this is glued together, the important bit, the part that matters, which is those dowels there going into the tabletop. The friction fit on those is really nice because I turned these down a little bit. I made a little bit of sanding on that just so they go in easier for the glue up. And then this part here, you can't really see it here. We're going to see it later on. I really like this. It doesn't fall apart. It's really snug, but it does, of course, come apart. And there's a couple other things I want to do once I get near the end I want to talk about as well. There are other things, modifications on this I am going to do. But for the moment, like I said, this is working out really quite well. So yeah, I'm going to stick these on, let them set, and then the final finishing course is I'm going to put on boiled linseed oil. It's pretty much my only finish I use for all these work projects, the ones that I'm actually going to be using somewhere else. I do like how it protects the wood from moisture and everything else. And the other thing I like about it is when, stuff happens, and all I need to do if it gets to the point where it is getting a bit too damaged, just a bit of light sanding, and then it's ready to go again after a little bit more oil. And this is the part I really like. It goes on a little bit hard at the moment, maybe, but it will wear. And as it wears, it will go in more easily. Not sure what I'm going to do when it gets to the point where it's too easy. We'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But there you can see it's I really like this. It is nice and solid. It's nice and flat. It does everything I want it to do. And there you go. Next, like I said, the next thing is put some oil on it. You see there's no turning, no twisting. And the other thing I like about boiled linseed oil, this is kind of silly I suppose, but I like the smell of it. It's not toxic. I don't mind working with it. I get it on my hands. It doesn't matter. Just wash it off. It's just oil. And like I say, yeah, it's a very nice finish. And like I said, it does really protect the wood projects I do. I made a lot of stuff out of this. And it's been maybe 7 or 8 years since the first few projects I started using this with. And It's still, they're still protected. I mean, I really can't ask for anything else, and I don't mind the color. I mean, it's a little pale when it comes to working on pine. Much better on oak and other things, but that's all right. I'm not terribly concerned about the looks of these things. I just want it to be functional. There you go. This is going to take, 3 or 4 coats to get it where I want it to be. Not going to show it all to you, of course. And actually, at this point, it's not even at the final finish. As you can see, some of it's a little bit bare still. I will gradually do all that. The other thing I want to do, and when you see the one that's on laying down still, I want to put another dowel in there so that that is held in that position, so it'll make it a little bit more portable. But that's the last thing I'm going to be doing for this. And I will do that, again, like I said, the next project. There are other things I need to do, maybe make some dogs for this and some bench hooks and a bunch of other stuff. So this project's going to go on for a little while, but this is it. This is finished. I'm very happy with this. A little bit more oil, and yeah, this is a nice project. Hope you guys enjoyed all this. Leave comments, let me know what you think about all this, and I will see you in the next video. And bye for now.